Tow it. I don't care whose it is. Get it out of my sight.
The man she had towed away stood on the frozen sidewalk, watching chains tighten around the only thing his wife ever touched. January in Chicago does not whisper, it cuts. At 6:47, Victoria Sterling stood above the city and believed she owned everything below. 3 leather binders, 1 merger, $2 billion. Today the boardroom would learn her name. White cloth, champagne towers, 2 logos projected on the wall. She checked every detail the way other women might make prayers.
Tow it now. I have a ceremony in 5 hours.
Marcus had driven across the river to deliver a rebuilt transmission. A friend said, "Park anywhere." The friend had been wrong.
This isn't your neighborhood, brother. Move along.
He did not argue. He turned and walked toward the bridge with his breath ghosting white in the cold air. High above, she laughed. She never once looked down. She did not know this decision would rewrite the rest of her life. By 9:30, the 43rd floor was full of motion. Then her assistant appeared in the doorway, pale.
We need to talk about the merger, Victoria.
The contract has been vetted by every senior counsel in this firm.
Section 12, subsection 14, clause 9. Explain this.
Give me 1 hour. I will have answers.
She sat alone in her office and realized that 7 brilliant people had walked her to the edge of a cliff.
The disclosure timeline. They buried it across 3 sections.
The silence was the silence of lawyers who had just learned they had tied their CEO's shoes for a fall.
There is one name. Someone who reads contracts the way mechanics hear engines.
Who is he? Where is he?
Marcus Johnson. He left 5 years ago. His wife died. He fixes cars now.
She drove the Mercedes herself because her hands needed something to hold. The neighborhood changed around her like a confession. Her heels cracked on broken concrete. For the first time in her adult life, her shoes were the wrong shoes.
Back bay. Through that door. But don't say I didn't warn you.
The back bay smelled of motor oil and old coffee and something sharper underneath, like iron.
Shop's closed for walk-ins. I can't help you.
I have 87 minutes before I sign $2 billion away.
He turned slowly, and her breath caught, because she knew that face from the sidewalk 3 hours ago.
You didn't ask who I was. You saw an old truck and decided the whole story.
She had stood before senators. She had held her own against men who taught her father to lie. Here, she had no answer.
Daddy, the lady looks scared.
He placed one large hand on top of his daughter's head, the gesture practiced and gentle. She did, didn't she?
Hi, I'm Maya. Are you here because Daddy fixes cars? Or the other thing?
I'm sorry. I didn't ask. I should have asked. I have done that before.
How much time?
He did not say, "I forgive you." He said, "Let's go." And he walked past her toward the front of the shop. In the back office, Maya set the book down carefully and locked the bay door her father had not had time to close.
He is with me. If either of you touches him, you are unemployed before the elevator.
Nobody in the courtroom or the lobby knew who he was. He glanced at her once. It was not gratitude. It was a man taking notes. He asked for no coffee, no water, no chair closer to the window. He opened the contract and read in absolute silence. At minute 23, a small tightening at the corner of the jaw. Victoria had been watching nothing else, and she caught it.
Replace every reference to affiliate entity with parent corporation. Then read it again.
The trap rose up out of the page like something coming out of water. It had been there the whole time in boring language.
You almost signed away your father's company. You have 90 minutes left. This wasn't Garrison. There's a fund called Apex. A man named Kenneth Vance. 14 companies in 7 years. 11 women. 3 black founders. It's not coincidence. They pick targets they think nobody will defend. You were number 15.
Pass me the phone. I'm calling Garrison directly. We are off. I am terminating the merger, effective right now. I am the 15th name on your list, David. I'm calling to tell you I'm not.
She set the phone down carefully, as if it might still be hot. The real test had not even begun. Her father's office sat 1 floor above. He had retired 14 months ago and had not retired at all.
This sounds like panic from a daughter who couldn't take the heat.
You are welcome. Usamix Chambers, Missouri.
At 1 in the morning, an article accused her company of things that had never happened. Someone inside the building had made a call.
Are you up? I wanted to make sure you weren't reading it alone.
Tell me about your wife.
Her name was Sarah. A truck ran a light on Ashland. The officer said she hadn't suffered.
She pressed her forehead against the cold glass. Something ancient and tired inside her moved 1 inch. Kenneth Vance came in person on a Tuesday. He did not call ahead. Men like him never do.
Young lady, you are playing a man's game without understanding the rules.
You picked 11 women and 3 black founders. Not because they were weak. You assumed I would be quietly polite. You were almost right.
I would be careful about the friends you keep. Mr. Johnson has a history.
He told me himself 3 days before you did. You came here with nothing.
He left without slamming anything. Men like Kenneth Vance never slam. They return with paper instead. That night, Marcus rang her doorbell at 8:30. Maya stood beside him holding 2 pizza boxes against her chest like a shield. Maya turned in a slow circle, studying the bookshelves and the lake. Then she walked over and tilted her head up.
Daddy says you're a brave one. He doesn't say that about many people.
A child had said what no boardroom, no investor, no father had ever said. And it broke something open that needed breaking. She wore a black suit and no jewelry. She placed a folder on the podium and did not open it.
Today, I am going to give you names. I am going to give you dates. I am going to ask you to notice the pattern in those names.
Apex will sue me. They will say I am reckless. I am telling you now so you will know.
She spoke for 38 minutes. She named 14 companies. She did not mention Marcus. Not once. She had given her word. Within 48 hours, the SEC announced a formal inquiry. Within 72, Vance filed a $200 million defamation suit. Marcus sat alone in the second row. Nobody in the courtroom knew who he was. He wore the same kind of work shirt. Neither of them smiled. Neither of them needed to. The nod was enough. It had always been enough. Two companies confirmed her account. The Wall Street Journal assigned 3 reporters. The ground beneath Vance began to shift. Marcus worked from the garage. He did not move offices. He answered questions about contracts now, the way he once answered them about transmissions. She sold the Mercedes the day she stopped needing her father's approval. The Toyota had 96,000 miles. It started every morning. Late April. Golden light. She pulled up in front of the bay doors with a single key on a plain metal ring.
Hi, Miss Victoria. Victoria.
He stepped out, wiping his hands. Then he saw what she was holding, and something old and heavy shifted in his chest.
Same year, same model, same color. I couldn't get the old one back. I tried.
He closed his fingers around the key. He did not say thank you. He did not say, I forgive you. He did not need to.
Honey, say hi to Miss Victoria. She's gonna be eating pizza with us a lot now.
Maya grinned wide enough to show the gap where her front tooth had been, and she ran. She stood in the doorway with the smell of motor oil and rain in the air. She was not thinking about what floor she was on. For the first time in years, she was just standing in the right place. What does it mean to be seen? Not for the suit, not for the title, but for the thing you chose to do when no one was watching. Marcus never asked the world to see him differently. He only asked it to see him at all. And an 8-year-old girl with a book about plants knew more about bravery than every board member on the 43rd floor. Sometimes the person who saves your company is the same person your company tried to erase from the sidewalk at 7 in the morning. So let me ask you something, and I want you to answer honestly. Is there someone in your life right now that you have already decided the whole story about without ever asking? First, the people you dismiss on sight may carry exactly the answer you cannot find on your own. Second, an apology that costs you nothing changes nothing. An apology that changes how you live is the only one that matters. Third, a child will tell you the truth that an entire boardroom is too polished to say. Listen to the honest voice. If this story moves something in you today, I am glad you stayed. If you felt something shift, a recognition, a discomfort, a warmth, that means you are paying attention. Leave a comment and tell me who in your life deserves a second look. Who did you judge too quickly? Subscribe if you want more stories that remind you how much you are capable of when you choose to see clearly. Share this with someone who needs to hear it today. Sometimes one story at the right moment changes everything. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying until the end. I will see you in the next one.
benar tunti lagi nonton. Madya sakit dat segitu mama juga mihau. Nice cut, Max done.